Welcome to another battle report, this time featuring a 1,000-point Orc versus Space Marine battle. We'll take a look at my Orcs first. I'm bringing Wazdaka Gut Mech as a character that allows me to bring the 5 boys on bikes and the knob on the bike with the Power Claw. I've also brought 10 Ludas. Next up I've got a squad of 9 Burna Boys led by a mech, and they're piled into a battle wagon with a death roller and kill cannon and a red paint job. It's also open topped. Also got a squad of 12 Shooter Boys led by a knob with a Power Claw and a truck with a red paint job as well. On to Paul's Space Marines. Paul brought a Dreadnought with a missile launcher and assault cannon, 2 squads of TAC Marines, both with a plasma gun and a multi-melta, and it's led by a captain with a power weapon, digital weapons, and artificer armor. There's a squad of Devastators with 4 missile launchers. And to finish off the heavy support, he also brought a Vindicator with a Hunter-Killer missile. So we roll to see who goes first. And the Orcs win the roll. On to the table setup. Now before we started filming, we did roll for the mission and deployment. And we got seized ground for the mission type and pitched battle for the deployment. And we rolled and we got 5 objectives. So you'll see those as the blue circles around the table. As you can see, no one's put anything to reserve. Everything's out on the table, and Paul split up his tact and Devastator squad into combat squads. So we'll see if Paul can steal the initiative. Needs a 6 for that and gets a 4. So we'll start off with Orcs turn 1. So I start by moving the battle wagon up 7 inches so I can still fire my weapons and get 1 extra inch because of the red paint job. And the truck's going to move up 13 inches and hug a little bit of cover there. And the bikes are moving up as well. And we're moving into the shooting phase with the battle wagon firing at the Vindicator with its kill cannon. And it manages to get a direct hit. And because it's an ordnance weapon, it gets to roll 2 dice, but it fails both of those to penetrate. Now, it does clip 2 of the Marines on the side, and they both get killed. Next up, the big shoot on the truck is going to target the combat squad to the right of the Dreadnought and fails all 3 of its shots. Next up, the boys inside are going to shoot with their shooters. They get 22 shots, which those 13 hit, and that gives us 8 wounds. Paul rolls his saves and manages to make 4 of those, but that does mean that 4 Marines are removed as casualties. And he almost takes the Melta, then thinks better of it. Next up, Wazdaka is going to fire at the Vindicator as well. He gets 4 shots, of which 1 hits and 1 pens, and gets immobilized. Next up, the Ludas are going to fire at the squad, the combat squad. They get 1 shot each. Now, only 4 of the Ludas could actually see the squad, and they get 1 hit, 1 wound, and Paul fails that wound. So another Marine is gone. And roll for leadership just to make sure that the one squad doesn't fall back, and he saves that fine. Space Marines turn 1. So movement phase. Paul's going to move up the combat squads, as well as the remaining Melta and the Dreadnought. On to shooting. He's going to target the bike squad with the Vindicator. I managed to scatter 11 inches, but with the 4 ballistic scale, that's 7 inches, but that still manages to put it between that sweet spot between the bikes and the Ludas, so no wounds there. Next up, the plasma cannon, or plasma gun's going to target the truck. It scatters, again, 11 inches, so minus 4 for ballistic skill brings it down to 7 inches, which will actually have it clip the battle wagon. But with the plasma being his strength 7 and the front armor of the battle wagon being 14, we knew it wasn't going to be able to penetrate or glance. So the remaining 4 warriors from that squad are going to fire. They get 4 shots, 4 hits, but nothing can penetrate or glance that. So next up, the Melta is going to take a shot and misses. The Devastator squad, there's 1 missile launcher that can see the bike, so he gets 1 shot but fails to hit. Now the other plasma cannon is going to target the bikes, but it scatters 9 inches and fails to hit anything at all. The other 4 Marines have 4 shots, and 4 hits and 4 shots, but fail to wound. Next up, the Dread is going to target the truck with the missile launcher to begin with. So it gets 1 shot and 1 hit, and causes because it's open top, the crew stunned. Next up, the missile launchers is going to fire, or the autocannon is going to fire. It gets 4 shots, which 3 hits and 2 explosion results. So we roll on the truck ramshackle table. Now I should have rolled 2 dice, only rolled the 1, but got a careen result, which means he moves randomly in 3d6 inches. I got a hit, so I got to choose the direction, so I moved forward. Now there was an explosion of 5 inches. I managed to hit 5 of the Marines, but only 1 of them wounds, and he managed to save it. Now the 12 boys in the truck took 6 wounds, and no saves, so we lost 6 boys in that explosion. Next up, doing the pinning test, and managed to fail that, so the boys are pinned as well. So now Paul is going to move his 1 squad closer to the truck, and the other squad on the right flank is running as well. And that brings us to the end of turn 1. So other than the truck blowing up and taking out 6 boys with it, the Orcs seem to get away pretty unscathed this turn. I'm not sure if it's due to my tactics or just Paul's horrible rolling of the dice for turn 1, but we'll see how that looks in turn 2. As you see, there's still a lot of guys on the table and a lot of damage to be done. So be sure to click on part 2 to see the next part of this BatRep. If you liked it, please subscribe. I'd like to know that people want to see more of these. And also, if you have any comments, rule suggestions, or rule corrections, or any other things you want to point out, feel free to leave a comment in the description below. And once again, thank you very much for watching.